What's up? Okay. Okay. We live. I guess we live. Guess we live. Welcome to the Pelicans Sports Corner. You already know what it is, man. This is your boy Byron Felder. We're gonna be talking about how the Pelicans have won 7 games. They won 7 games in a row at home. We also gonna be talking about how they have been on a 3-game winning streak, and the Pelicans have 10 games to go. I don't foresee the Pelicans being in the play-in. I don't see the scenario where the Pelicans going to be in the play-in, but they have improved in areas, and I know for a fact that we all thinking the same thing. Oh, has James Borrego improved enough so that he can take over as the Pelicans head coach? I would say, I would say, pump the brakes on that. Pump the brakes on the James Borrego talk. Yes, has he been doing some great things over these past few games? Got them scoring over 100 points in X amount of games? Yes. James Borrego have been improving as a coach with this team. He has been improving as a coach when it comes to the Pelicans and the things that they're doing on the court. He's been using Eve, Misi, Carlo. DeJounte Murray has been getting downhill. It's been a lot of things going on with the Pelicans when it comes to um, pretty much the Pelicans playing on the court. And we have seen some things. We're seeing Zion step up. We're seeing Trey step up. DeJounte Murray is like a heaven sent. He has came out of the blue the past few games and has been balling for the Pelicans. We see the growth of Jeremiah Fears. We see the consistency of Sadiq Bey. We see all of these things coming together at the perfect time for the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, they're beating on lesser teams. Yes, they're beating on teams that's trying to get into the lottery. And that's not true for all teams. Yes, they're beating on teams that's uh trying to secure a top pick, but you only can play the people that's on the schedule, and you only can play the teams that you got next. That's not their fault if the other teams are laying down. So we can't criticize them for that. We can't fault them for that. Um, at the same time, we got to understand that the things that they're doing can carry over into the season. It can carry over into the season. The only problem with that is, again, I know you guys want to talk yourself into James Borrego, but we've been there, we've done that. We have already did that with James Borrego. We had already did that with guys that we thought would be a fantastic head coach because they was buddy buddy with the organization and all of these other things. We don't want them type of coaches no more. We need coaches with pedigree. We need coaches that can lead a team in tough moments. One of the main things the Pelicans struggle with is fourth quarter collapses. We need those type of coaches that's going to demand excellence, demand strategic basketball in key moments so that we can get over the hump. Like just in football, it's like every blade of grass you got to cover when you're playing defense in football. Well, on the court, you have to be mentally tough and you have to have a certain tenacity when it comes to playing basketball as far as in key moments. And this team, although they're getting better, has struggled not only under James Borrego. This is not his problem. This has been something consistent since Willie Green been a head coach. For some reason, in the fourth quarter, we always seems to give up the lead, and that has to stop. That's why I'm saying pump the brakes on James Borrego. James Borrego is a great offensive uh, play designer. He just is. He loves that small ball, fast pace lineup. And that's okay. That's okay. That is okay. James Borrego, he has a place in this league. Would he be a fantastic head coach? It remains to be seen. Is it unfair that he took over a team that he didn't really get an offseason with? Probably, but it's also an opportunity. It's a double-edged sword, you know? So we can't really fault him for the lack of leadership and ability to figure out guys because again, it's human nature setting in. These guys know he's not the coach. He knows these guys know he's not the coach. So he has to command a room of guys who's already committed to a coach. That's a tough thing, a tough assignment to garner as an assistant head coach. He said it himself, he wouldn't have wanted it this way. Obviously. You know, because everybody's thinking the same thing. I mean, this guy's just like the substitute. No disrespect, but that's what it is. And I think if we get to a point this offseason, I think the Pelicans should be one of the fastest teams on getting information on coaches and lining up their interviews for coaches because the Pelicans really need a coach, man. Mike Malone obviously is at the top of everyone's list. Obviously, Mike Malone is at the top of everyone's list. But there's some other candidates like Sam Cassell that deserves a shot, that's been around, that's talented, that could command a room, that is respected. Doesn't mean that that's who Joe Dumars is looking for in Troy Weaver, but we need some guys who can command this room and make sure these guys are putting in the work, make sure these guys are playing, make sure these guys have an attitude where they're getting up and down the court. A lot of our best players jogging up the court on defense. That's unacceptable. A true coach wouldn't even allow that. It's unacceptable. We have to do a better job when it comes to directing the things that we want on this team. It's too Jekyll and Hyde. It is when it comes to this team. But as of now, to get off the sour note, as of now, they're doing good things. They're showing improvement. You know, you got Jeremiah Fears out here just absolutely blazing, blazing, doing things we've been looking to see from Jeremiah Fears. We knew who he was coming out. So that's a good sign. That's a positive. And he's only going to get better. We got Zion healthy, another positive. Hopefully in the offseason, he gets even more healthier and in more shape so that this team can finally take the next level. Trey Murphy still ascending. Trey Murphy is still ascending. He's only 25, folks. He's going to get better. He definitely needs to work on dribbling, attacking teams. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to going downhill into the lane, you know, he kind of gets stymied a lot when he's playing ISO ball. Not that we want to play ISO ball, but if we need a bucket, we need Trey, being that he's one of the most pure shooters on the team to be able to get us a bucket, whether it's a mid-range bucket or a three-point bucket. I look for him to grow in that area going into next season so that we can have a guy who can help with those fourth quarter comebacks, those fourth quarter leads that we give up. Trey needs to be in a lab trying to dominate. Zion needs to be in a lab trying to add to his bag. That's just what it is. The only thing the Pelicans is missing is a superstar. It could be Zion. It could be Trey Murphy. But what are they going to do post this season to add to their bag? It may be Jeremiah Fields, maybe Derek Queen. But they still got a lot of runway to grow. So everybody's not going to be on this team. They just don't have the cap space. So some guys, they're going to have to make some tough decisions. But at the same time, in order to get this team to where it needs to be, tough decisions have to be made with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver. That's just what it is. Tough decisions have to be made. There's a log jam at a lot of the positions. You're not playing your centers entirely enough, yet they're both are flashing. You start in small ball lineups. I get it, that scheme, and you can get away with it down this stretch because, like I said, a lot of teams are laying down. But we got to get to a point where we figure this out. We got to get to a point where we need an actual center that's playing next to Derek Queen or whoever it is, Zion, whoever it is. We can't keep having lineups where small ball, you think that's going to beat actual talented top tier teams in the East and West that has dominant centers, that has centers that could get up and defend, that has centers that could get up and down the court. You have to have players that can match up with other players. I don't have nothing against small ball, but the problem I'm having is what does the Pelicans hang their hat on when it comes to their offense and defensive style, their toughness, their tenacity? What do they hang their hat on? Small ball is something another team's coach perfected. You know, that's something uh Mike D'Antoni, the Steve Kerr and guys perfected for their teams with the Draymond Greens, guys like that. That's something that they perfected for their team. What are the Pelicans going to do about their scheme so that teams, when they match up against teams looking to defend a system that they built that can't be defended? Teams know getting off the bus, this is how we're going to defend. During these last 10 games, this is what I'm looking for. Obviously, if they lose the last 4, they out of playing contention or playoff contention. I don't expect them to get into play-in. Is it possible? Absolutely. Anything's possible. But I just think they have too much going against them in order to get there. And why would you want that team in a play-in anyway? When there's so many questions. If the Pelicans make the play-in, the thing nobody's talking about, if the Pelicans make the play-in, all right, let's just say perfect case scenario, they make the play-in. Now you're behind on coaching candidates. Now you're behind on figuring out these contract situations. Now you're behind on your offseason discussions. It's just too much that puts you behind the 8 ball when you're talking about playing, when this is a bad team that looks like they're on the come up. Make no mistake about it. A win is a win, but this still is a bad team. Still 20-something wins the Pelicans got. It's not like they're 46 wins, 50 wins. I told y'all when James Borrego took over, he's going to be the next best thing, the next best thing. Get me to 45 wins and we'll talk. He didn't do that. Is it unfair to ask him to get that many wins? Probably. But if you can command the room, the results will follow. If you are who you say you are, the results will follow. And as of now, James Borrego can't say he's that guy, respectfully. Phenomenal offensive designer, phenomenal offensive play caller. But you need everything in order to be a head coach. You have to find somebody that these players respect and who's a leader of men. Not saying they disrespect them or they take it for granted. You need a guy that the players can come into the room and look like, I know we gonna win. Right off the bat. I know we got a shot to win. Because I have this coach and I know he's gonna put me in the best position to win. I know the guys, if I get injured, he's gonna put the guys behind me in the best position to win. I know no matter what it comes down to, we got the better coach who's gonna put us in situations to win. Any given night. You can't, as a New Orleans Pelicans fan, tell yourself that the Pelicans have that guy in the building. You'll be lying to yourself. Most of the time, when the Pelicans match up against another head coach, they're overmatched. And again, that's not disrespect to James Borrego. That is not disrespect to James Borrego. It's not. That's not disrespect to James Borrego. Again, he's doing great with what he have. He's doing great with what he have. That's no knocking him. But in order for the Pelicans organization to be where they need to be, they need that guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't mind James Borrego staying on a offensive play caller when it comes to designing on ball offense. But when it comes to defense, we need a man. We need a grown man in the room. Too many times on film, you see a guy like Derek Queen, you see a guy like Zion just jogging up the court on defense. There's coaches in the league, there's coaches in college. They see that, you'll be on the bench instantly, no matter what your name is. Why? Because it's not how you win. Zion is one of the most athletic, he's one of the most athletic bigs in the NBA. There's no reason he should be jogging on defense. There's no reason. I watched Carlo outrun Jeremiah Fears, who else? Herb Jones up and down the court every night. And he get a limited amount of minutes. I watched Carlo outrun damn near the whole team every given night. But he's warming the bench, yet still progressing. You need your leaders to turn into superstars. You need your leaders to grow up. You need your leaders to take the next step. And the only way you're going to do that, is for people to be held accountable. That's the only way. If you can't hold your players accountable, if you can't demand greatness from them on a night-to-night basis, the Pelicans are going to be stuck in mediocrity. It don't matter who's the coach. It don't matter who the players are. If you can't get the Pelicans as a team to move as a unit on the court, the Pelicans are going to be stuck in mediocrity. So don't let these wins fool you. Yes, they won the last 7 games at home. That's a big deal, no matter who they're playing. That's a big deal. But we need the Pelicans to start moving like they belong. We need the Pelicans to start moving like they want to win. Always hear interviews where they say, man, I think we could have made the playoffs. No, you can't. People who make the playoffs don't think they can make the playoffs. They know they can make the playoffs. Why? Been there, done that. Why? Because the coach in place. Why? Because the talent in place. Why? Because the team are all on one accord and their expectations is to win. It's infectious. It's infectious. Why? Because they're watching the man in front of them hustle and get back down the court. They're watching the man in front of them dive on the ground for loose balls. They're watching the man in front of them practice, stay late in the gym and making sure they get extra shots up, making sure their training's right, making sure they're in shape. And again, this is not a knock on any players on the Pelicans because they're trending in the right direction. But the facts are the facts. The Pelicans need to get it together on everything that they do. They need to get it from top to bottom, though. This is just not just the players. We're not just going to write. This is organizational decisions. This is everything. And granted, Joe Dumars just got here, so you can't really blame him for what's going on past few years. But if we want to talk about the Pelicans having some of the most talent in the NBA, we have had that ever since we had Rondo, DeMarcus Cousins, Drew Holiday, all these guys on one team. Look what Nickeil Alexander-Walker doing. Look what Dyson Daniels was doing when he was with Atlanta. He still is with Atlanta, but look what he was doing right out the gate. You see Najee. Look what Najee's doing on Dallas. Jose Alvarado. We're like the hub that molds our players and we push them to other teams to watch them be great with other teams. It's not a success to win. You want to keep your guys that you groom. You want to keep your guys that you groom in-house so that you can build championship teams. And the only way to do that is have an organization where everybody is on one accord. That's the standard. The standard has to be the standard. But the question is, do the Pelicans have those type of players in the locker room? Most teams that are great have a superstar. If you were a betting man, where are you putting all your chips? On a Vegas table saying this guy right here, he's going to be the superstar. He's going to carry us to new heights. If anybody, who are you doing that with? Honestly, that's an honest question. That's not to slight anybody. That's not saying anybody's not going to develop into a superstar. That's not, you know, trying to take cheap shots at anybody. It's the truth. You have to get to a point where these guys are looked at around the NBA like the standard. On any given night, you know Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, even though Chris Middleton wasn't as elite as other players, you knew they both was bringing it. You look at Steph Curry and Klay Thompson when they was together, you knew they was bringing it. You know? So this is not nothing new. Chris Paul and James Harden, LeBron and D Wade, Kevin Durant, when he had Harden and all, you know, it's just infectious when you got a guy that you know on any given night not only loves basketball, but wants to win. So the Pelicans, as far as the Pelicans go in these last 10 games, I think there's three things the Pelicans are doing. One, they're showing the league that they have the talent and the coach. They're showing the league and the coaches, they potential suitors, that they have talent. Two, health. Health, health. They have to stay healthy together. They have to stay healthy together. Too many times on this team over the past few years, guys are in and out of the lineup. They have to. We can't keep having the same conversations. Man, if they help, man, if we healthy, man, if we help. Come on, man. That's like a broken record. We can't keep having those conversations. We need guys who can hold up. And three, if you can't keep everybody, who can you offload to get pieces around the guys you want to build your future with? The three top things that this organization and these players have been showing. And man, Sadiq Bey is a guy you don't want. He looks like the most valuable person in the locker room. Both mentality, the way he goes about his business, the way he just show up, work, put in work, like he's a pro's pro. That's a guy you want young guys to come behind and follow. A proven commodity, a veteran that knows how to work, put the work in, and it translates to the floor. That's the type of guy that you want. And I understand. I understand it's frustrating. And we've been arguing, we've been going back and forth, we've been talking about a bunch of things. We've been yelling at the Pelicans, but a lot of things, man, I don't think y'all understand. A lot of the things that the problem with the Pelicans is that leadership. That one word, leadership. Leaderships. And it's not just from the head coaching position. It's coming from the GM. It trickles down. You've seen it with the Saints. It trickles down. Leadership is needed. It's needed with this team. That's why I'm not anti James Borrego. You just need some new, fresh ideas with the fresh players that you like Derek Queen that you traded for. The fresh player like Jeremiah Fields you drafted. The newfound gem you got in Sadiq Bey, who's a bucket. Trey Murphy ascending as a young player. Zion getting his healthy back, getting his love back for the game. You need guys who can take those pieces, put them on the chessboard, and say, let's ride. Any given night, we can win this thing. And everything else will fall in place. Same with the GM. What do you need, coach? Who do I have to go get so that this can be sustainable for our fans? Who do I have to go get so that our fans can experience real basketball, meaningful basketball in the month of April and May? Like, we still haven't even got past the first round. That's terrible. That's terrible. So what coach is going to lead us past the first round? Past the play-in? That's going to give us the best chance to win a 7-game series. Is that James Borrego? Honestly, let's be honest. Is that James Borrego? Is he going to give us the best coach, the best coaching performance so that this roster or potential added pieces to it can win a 7-game series? Honestly, there's no shade. I don't see it. Go down the list of coaches. Are you taking him over a guy like Steve Kerr? No. What about the guy in Miami? No. Are you taking him? It's just too many guys you can go on and on and on about, and you're not going to take him. Does that mean he's the underdog? Does that mean he can't win? No. But a 7-game series is a long series. It needs to be strategic and broke down. You need to find weaknesses. And as a coach, if I'm the coach, I'm telling you right now, seeing Zion and Derek Queen, jogging on defense, that's cooked food for me. That is cooked food for me. Because if you're not even going to play, if you're going to jog on defense, I'm going to torch you. And trust me, coaches watch the film. They see this. They see this. This ain't just me punching down on them. This is me just stating the obvious. So we got to understand that there's a lot to be cleaned up. And yes, we're trending in the right direction. We are. We're trending in the right direction. But trending in the right direction could be a little bit misleading. And for this case in point, it's good for the growth, it's good for the health and mental of the young players, but it's a little bit misleading. 10 games to go, trying to back our way into a play-in, I'd rather not. No disrespect. I'd rather not. And not because I don't like winning. I just want to be the first person to be able to nab my coach. I want to have the pick of the litter when it comes to getting the best coach for these guys. I want to start my offseason off with a bang right out the gate. I don't want to wait. I want to be able to get my coach before everybody else. I want to be able to vet my coaches before everyone else. I don't want anybody to be able to have access to a better coach than me. I want to be the first domino that fall, not rushing, but getting the right domino so that my organization can look like a functioning organization with guys who can mold talent. And if that's Mike Malone, so be it. But I just want the pick of the litter. I want my guys to know 30 to 40 days into the offseason, here's your coach. This is who we riding with. Now let's build this thing. And the only way The only way to do this is not to make the play. And listen, playing is fine, but we need series wins. I get it. It's fun. It's a distraction, but I want to win. I want to win. And the Pelicans are winning, but I want to win. I want to be able to advance to a Western Conference Finals. I want to be able to see the growth of a 1-2-3 punch from DeJounte, Trey Murphy, and Zion if they all together. And then you get a 6th man of the year candidate like Sadiq Bey, and you get the young rising Jeremiah Fierce and Derek Queen coming off the bench type, situation when it comes to this team. We all do. But if we keep holding on to false hope, yeah, but they beating this team, man, all of these teams laying down right now. They all laying down right now. They want them that top 5 pick so bad in the deep draft, whatever that means. The best thing about winning, though, is that the Derek Queen trade looks better and better and better the more they win. Instead of giving Atlanta a top 3 pick, you might be giving them a top 9 pick. But with the Pelicans' luck, they might get a 10th projected pick, and that mother lover might still wind up one. That's how bad our luck been. Sad but true. It's sad but true. With the Pelicans' luck, we could give them the 11th projected pick, and they might jump up to number 1 anyway. That's just to prove a point, just to rub it in our face. That's how the Pelicans' luck been. But it's I don't know, man. We just got to do better. We got to do better as an organization. The fans deserve better. The fans deserve better in a Smoothie King Center, in a blender. There's a lot for our players to be working on. A lot. And then they're so mumble jumbled on the court. They're so mumble jumbled. There's times where they just completely fall asleep. And there's times where there's coaching moments when I went to the Rockets game where it's obvious there's no big on the floor that can guard Zion. And for some reason, they're not running pick and roll to isolate Zion on a big. They're not running pick and roll to isolate Zion. And this is for like almost 2 quarters. They're going to pretty much, and I see that they're going running pick and roll, and they'll do it, it'll be successful, and then they'll go away from it for like 3 quarters. Like, bruh, there's nobody who can stop Zion. There's nobody who can stop Zion. Why are we not isolating him on Jabari Smith, Kevin Durant, all of these guys that do not want that shoulder in their chest? Why? Why are we going away? This is what I mean about coaching. There's not nobody on that small Rockets team without Sengun that can stop Zion in the paint. Why are we going away from him? Zion should have shot at least 25 free throws against Houston. At least, minimum. That's the difference between decent coaching and great coaching. Because there was nobody that you should have saw him. That nobody wanted to guard him. But yet they went against him. They went against him. And I seen your message when you say Zion and Queen doesn't want to be here. I think Zion and Queen wants to be here. But you have to be led. You have to. You have to be led. It's no fun when you know that you hope they put you in a position to make plays. I can tell you right now, Jeremiah Fierce and Derek Queen are pick and roll players. If you watch their college tape, they thrive in it. And all season long, we have yet to see them consistently play pick and roll. Jeremiah Fierce is a Ja Morant type guard to where he will isolate you on a pick and roll, and there's nothing you can do about it. Derek Queen is a fantastic roller. And he's unguardable when he rolls because he can shoot the mid-range. He can dime you up. You know what I'm saying? Pass it. And he can get you off the dribble and break you down and hit a layup. That's a fact. That's a fact. But if you're paying attention to what the coach is doing, and I get it, his condition is not up to par. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. His conditioning is not up to par. Zion is still working on his. Hopefully, he gets the man who Zion is who's training Zion number, and they both go to work. You know, that would be lovely. But right now, man, it ain't working the way it should be. And again, what do you do with Zion when you got a Eve Messi? Is Eve Messi still on the trade block? I asked those questions. Are you going to get rid of Carlo and he turns into something for a contending team? Like, what are we doing? And all of these are possibilities. All of these things are possibilities. So make no mistake, Joe Dumars got a hard job this offseason. He got to bring it. He got to put up a shut up. Straight up. Joe Dumars has to put up a shut up. There will be no excuses tolerated. You got your guy in Derek Queen. You got your guy in Jeremiah Fizz, and you said, these are the guys who's going to carry us. This is what you told the fan base. So you have to deliver with these guys. You have to. You have to deliver with these guys. So what you put around them, it has to contribute to winning. Great start with finding Sadiq Bey. You inherited Zion and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. I mean, there's a lot of teams that'll take on some of those players. So when we talk about the Pelicans, we have to take it with a grain of salt. Yes, we all like winning, but we have to take this with a grain of salt, man. I think the Pelicans potentially can be a fantastic team for the next 7 years. But if you do not put the right ingredients in a gumbo and you do not make the roux right, you're going to have a terrible pot of gumbo. You're going to have a terrible pot of gumbo. And right now, you don't have gumbo. You just have all the crabs and shrimp and smoked sausages and Dewey sausages, all those things that go in it. But you haven't found the foundation, the root, the base. You haven't got that right yet. And once you do that, everything else will fall in place. That's the biggest concern for this team. How do you build the foundation? What is the foundation? Do they know the foundation? Will they reveal what the foundation is? Yeah, it sounds good saying that we need our team to play defense. It's not going to be tolerated. Well, we know that's not true because defense was optional the whole year. Defense has been optional the whole year. That's a fact. There was many times that they was having mental lapses on a regular defensively. So it is what it is, but the truth will set you free. We got to get the guys who can shoot and defend. We have to be a playoff team. I'm not saying they have to be top 5 defense, but you got to make people earn it. I've been watching basketball a long time. The ability to contest can change your fortunes. But the Pelicans, man, they are not a contesting team collectively. A lot of times they just give up on the play. They don't even try to put their hands up on a lot of these layups, these driving layups that's happening in the game. You don't always get a foul for driving for trying to block, trying to contest a driving layup. Just put your hands up. Just put your hands up. That's all I'm saying. Just put your hands up. I can live with you putting your hands up and not blocking the shot, not altering the shot, and they make a better offensive play. But if you do nothing, what is it all for? What's the point of playing defense? There's no point. And this is the type of mentality that needs to be instilled. Joe Dumars said in his press conference when he took over, we're not going to negotiate defense. This is his words. That will be the standard. Well, I would tell Joe Dumars, guess what? If that's the standard, you guys have failed. You guys have failed miserably this year when it comes to playing defense. A lot of times you look lost. A lot of times it just looked like you wasn't into it. Guys jogging up and down the court, multiple players. Come on, man. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. And the sad part about it is all of these players have super ability to do it. Watch Trey jump out the gym. Watch Zion jump out the gym. Carlo jump out the gym. Carlo always contests though. If everybody have Carlo attitude, infectious play, and just want to, this team would be a lot better. But guys pick and choose too much when they want to turn it on, when they want to turn it off, when they want to turn it off, when they want to turn it off on all parts, offense and defense. And I think that needs to be the attitude. So these last 10 games going to show us a lot. They got some playoff teams that's coming in. We're going to find out who the real Pelicans are. We got a lot, Knicks, Cavs. We got a lot of teams coming in with some bigs. Let's see if that small ball lineup hold up against these big teams. Let's see how James Borrego adjusts. Let's see if he can pull off 10 straight. Let's see if he can match up toe-to-toe with these playoff teams. Let's see if he can do it. I'm not saying he can't. But let's see if he got the guys believing like that to where he could rip off 10 straight. That will put him at 13 straight to end the season. That will put him at 13 straight to end the season. If you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack. As a person who don't want him to be our coach, I can even respect that. Straight up. If he can rip off 10 straight against at least 4 or 5 playoff teams that's coming up, at least 4 or 5 playoff teams, get that man his props. He should be in consideration for the job. He should be. At least he should, at the bare minimum, he should get an interview. If he's really like that. Now, if he go to whiffing against these playoff teams and beating on these bottom feeder teams, then you know the proof is in the pudding. He's just good enough to beat your bad teams, not good enough to beat your good teams. It's just what it is. This is not me trying to beat the dead horse. This is not me doing that. This is me just telling you. Everything in life, you have an opportunity. This may not be the opportunity he wanted, but this is the opportunity James Borrego was given. And with that opportunity is the opportunity to say, I am the guy, and snatch this from everybody else in the league. And he has yet to do that. That's just a fact. His team has to respond to him. That's what a leader and head coach does. And I think listen, again, I'm not open to not keeping James. I'm just being honest with you. But we do need some fresh. We need something so fresh. So it's like so far what we haven't seen in New Orleans when it comes to basketball, to where our culture is being emulated around the league. That's the type of fresh I'm looking for, where teams are playing us how we want to play, and they're preparing for how we play offense or defense, not the other way around. Because every time we step on the floor, we're preparing for great teams in the way they play. That's what we doing. We have to get to a point where they're prepping for us. Man, you know they got Zion over there, a healthy one too. Look how slim he looked. Man, you seen Trey? Man, Trey got the total package. Trey out here dropping 25. He should have been an all-star. Man, you seen Jeremiah Fears? You seen this growth? You see how Jeremiah Fears, man, you see how he dropping dimes? You see how he blowing past people? Man, Queen healthy now. You know, he's in shape. He's up and down the court. Look at him contesting. He don't look like he's playing lazy anymore. Look at his attitude. Look at Zion attitude. And man, you know that coach they got, man, he could draw it up. He could draw it up. That's the type of things you want to hear from other people, coaches, players, GMs around the league about your team. Oh, you know the Pelicans on prime time. You know them boys on prime time. They coming. We got to circle this game. Ain't nobody circling the Pelicans games right now. Outside the Clippers, because for some reason the Clippers fans pissed off with us. The Clippers fans are pissed off. The Clippers want no parts of us. They mad as hell. But that's just where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it, man. Like, if y'all have any questions, man, y'all can fire away. Y'all can fire away, man. Because I don't really got nothing else to say. I just wanted y'all to understand these last 10 games, they may seem small, but they're very important. And trust me when I tell you, there's coaches right now, that's probably already in contact with Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars because they see the potential. But the potential, I hate to say this like this. A lot of teams saying that the Pelicans are going to keep this team the same. I don't see it. I don't see it. The Pelicans, something has to give for this team. Somebody has to go. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's going to be one of your favorite players, but there's a new found energy. There's a new found uh, direction this team has to go in. It just does. I don't know who's on the trade. I don't know none of that. I don't know what them discussions was that the Pelicans was having with E. Meese and all these other players. But they have to make a dynamic change to change this organization, even if it means landing a star that they didn't know can get. Like, there's rumors that Paolo Banchero maybe tired of Orlando. Not saying that the Pelicans should go after him. Not saying that they can even pull a trade off like that. But you need a groundbreaking move like that make us as fans go, wait, I didn't see that. They not playing no games down there in New Orleans. They're trying to really win. And that's just to throw out one name, but there's other guys because there's not a lot of top tier guys. You either have a guy that could potentially be a top tier guy, or you already have a guy that's been a guy. There's not a lot. You can on two hands, probably not even two, probably one hand, name the five best guys, and it's been like that for a long time. You got Giannis, LeBron, KD, Shea. You got who else? Just a guy, Steph, Jokic. Who else? I mean, I don't really know nobody else. Like, there's guys that's on the come. Oh, Jason Tatum, another one. He's been hurt. But Devin Booker, it's not a lot of guys. It's Kyrie when his attitude and mentality right. But again, a lot of things after that is question marks. Everybody, Ant, that's another one. A lot of people don't have those guys, folks. A lot of people don't have those. A lot of teams don't have those guys. So I'm looking forward to who the Pelicans bring in to turn this goddamn organization on its head and turn us into into the right direction so that we can finally start talking our ish as fans. Finally get back into the graces of winning. Finally get back to cheering. Finally get back to being on ESPN night games. Finally get back to being talked about. Finally getting back to potentially being one of the better up and coming teams in the NBA. And Zion and Trey is still young. So it's still feasible. It's still feasible. We just got to get to a point. We just got to get to a point where our organization believe what we believe. And they can find a guy that can mold these guys. Because mold is the right words. They don't have it right now. They don't. They'll get you. They can get you 30 to 40 here and there, but they don't have the consistency on a night-to-night basis to gel together and eke and squeak out games that when they're not playing their best, they're winning anyway. That's the difference between a 20-win team and a 48-win team. That's the difference. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. But I don't really got nothing else, folks. I think that we gonna find out. These 10 games, pay attention to these 10 games, bro. Pay attention. The Pelicans are not, forget all the chatter everybody else talking about. I don't care who it is. Me, bloggers, reporters, sideline report, forget all that. These 10 games, the Pelicans are going to tell you exactly who they are under James Borrego and exactly who they are up against some big teams. You don't even got to worry about our words. They're going to tell you if they believe in James Borrego, how everybody else is talking, and they're going to tell us if they want to be led by James Borrego. We don't got to do no talking for them. We don't got to do no advocating for anybody. They will tell us who they are as they have the whole season. They will tell us if they want this man to be his coach, their coach. We don't have to advocate for them. So that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. Can he rip off the 10? Because it has to be 10 to be impressive. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. It has to be 10. You at 20, 23, 24 win? It has to be 10 to be taken serious. I was hoping you get the 45. Me personally, even if I'm the GM, even 10 won't cut it for me. Sorry, not sorry. I need 45. That's different. That 45 is different because you took over a team after someone. And that person only had one win. So that means that's a plus 40 difference. You know, you got them to 40 games after you took over as an intern. Which means if you had an offseason, you could have gotten them to 55 potentially. That's what I'm looking for. But I ain't got nothing else to say, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I appreciate it. We're going to do more lives soon. We're going to get better and better. This is my first one. First live. We're going to get better at this live thing, man. We're going to get better and better, man. Hopefully we get more people in this live, man. Hopefully y'all ask some questions, man. We're going to turn this thing out. We're going to keep doing this. It's been a minute. I've been trying to figure this live thing out. This thing harder than I thought. I thought if I hit live, it'll be nice and tight. Nope, I was wrong. But guess what? We're going to have more podcasts coming. So look out for that. Look, I'm in this thing with y'all. I'm interested to see the Pelicans make me a believer. I'm in this thing with y'all, bro. I ain't going nowhere. We going to ride this thing out. We going to ride this thing out like we in a banana boat. Straight up. We going to ride this thing out because guess what? They got some decisions to make, and I look forward to it. But as always, man, thank y'all for rocking with me, man. I hope y'all enjoy y'all evening. Hope your family's safe, man. As always, thank you for watching the Pelicans Sports Corner. Thank you for watching the live, man. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything y'all do. Good night, man.